Hello, welcome to the Woodturning podcast. My name's Mark.
And my name is Will. Welcome.
And I am Gary. How you doing?
In this episode, Steve is with us once again. Will has issues with a vase. Mark is colouring in some yarn bowls. And Gary has himself a new beading tool. Good evening, gentlemen.
How's it going?
Steve's with us again this week.
Hi, Steve.
You all? You all right?
Nice to have you back.
He's a sucker for punishment, he is.
Yeah, me dinner because of this, but there you go.
Yeah, me too. I have too.
See, I'm not as gentlemanly as you. I will stuff my face while we're recording.
Yeah.
Not like we have noticed.
And if you pay attention to the last episode, you might hear me munching on chicken nuggets and chips.
Yeah.
Blowing the competition there. What is he eating? And is there going to be a prize?
Every other episode or so. No.
Exactly.
It will all sound the same. So what have you been up to then? Beat you to it there. No one's been up to anything. We're making this really difficult for Will to edit. He's going to be sat there for 3 hours.
Yeah. It takes longer than that to take your slow bits and your arms out.
Are you implying I'm a slow person there?
What have you been up to, Steve?
Made myself a couple of tools.
Made yourself?
Yeah. Went down to our local blacksmith in Langdon. Got a couple of bits of 8mm and 6mm steel bar, HSS bar. And I made myself a couple of round skews, or flat-ended skew and a round skew with ash handle. So that's just something I did a little while ago.
Yeah,
Do you prefer the round bar skews or the flat bar skews?
I haven't really used them. They're both round. The ones are both round. I haven't used them in earnest yet.
When you say round as in diameter of the tool, or round as in rounded cutting end?
No, round as in round bar.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So traditionally, there's the three main types in there. There's a completely flat bar.
Yeah.
There's the round bar, and then there's the sort of square bar.
It was 4 actually.
4? Oh, the rounded edged.
So you got the oval.
I favour the flat square bar, not the square, but the rectangular, the flat one. That's the one I use.
My favourite is I've got a 3/4 inch oval skew.
Yeah.
And that's the one I like because I get less catches on that one.
Right, okay.
I've got a 1 inch square with rounded edges, which is quite a nice one. A 3/4 inch flat with square edges, and a 1/2 inch with rounded edges, flat with rounded edges, and then with 2 others that I've just made.
Skew-mongous you are.
I like the skew. It's an easy tool to use.
It helps that he's always leaning over when he's turning. So the skew cut straight.
It's just a straight cut, yeah. But it's when I done my courses. It was one that the tutor used more, was concentrating more with us doing that than he did with any other chisel. So the main three was skew, the bowl gouge, and a little bit with the spindle roughing gouge.
So what are you when you're making your tools? What are you fixing them in with? Are you using
5-minute epoxy?
Yeah, just put 5-minute epoxy down the hole, and that they tend to stick quite well then for a couple of years.
I've been having trouble with 5-minute epoxy recently when it actually sticking.
Is it old?
Yeah.
Not the amount he goes through, surely.
No, it's probably 3 or 4 months. It's cold. I think that's what it is.
So mine's a couple of years old, and it's still okay.
Oh, really? Yeah, I think I need to bring it inside, really. I keep forgetting. In fact, that vase, the one we'll talk about in a minute, that came off a couple of times. In the end, I glued it on with hot melt.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
No,
a lot of hot melt.
I'm not in favour of using hot melt glue on glue blocks. I find they do tend to separate a little bit if you're not careful.
Yeah.
You used it normally as a backup, didn't you? You've already got.
All right.
You used the 2-part first, and then you just give it a bit of extra with the old.
No, because I actually came apart like a few times with 5-minute epoxy. So in the end, I went completely with hot melt, and that got it.
Yeah, the only thing I found with hot melt is if you only need a little bit of a vigorous cut.
Yeah,
and it will separate. I tend to use now normal wood glue, PVA.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah, it's flatter. Goes on flatter. With hot melt, you tend to get doesn't always go on even if it dries a bit sharpish.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Whereas with PVA, it goes on flat. I know you've got to leave it a bit longer before you turn it, but then it doesn't take long to clear it off, rather than just giving it a crack for it to come off. But it's a lot firmer, it's a lot more secure, but it's spinning around at umpteen RPM.
Actually, that's good advice. I've never thought about using normal old wood glue. I must admit. What was it? Use either 5-minute epoxy or hot melt.
On the 5-minute epoxy, I had like I've got some bigger tubes or tubs, if you like, and I like that. If your videos, Will, it's like you're like the old gunslinger from the West, like double bubble, like giving it something, like the old episode from the Goodies in the old days with the ketchup when they're squeezing in the old ketchup.
I'll have to send you the clip that I filmed the other day because, like, I just mentioned that the 5-minute epoxy is quite cold, and I wouldn't like.
I tend to bring my epoxy indoors in the winter because it's exactly that same thing. Otherwise, I'll leave it near the heater in the shed. If I'm going to use it, I'll leave it on the heater to warm up because otherwise I'll know I'm busting my fingers trying to get it out of the tube.
Yeah. Well, I sort of had the bigger ones, which I've still got, but I got some sort of small tubes off Amazon, right? And they're like, you get a little spatula thing and 2 tubes, only about that big, but there's something stupid like 2 or 3 quid, and just get loads of them. And the beauty is because they're just tiny tubes, you're going to use them pretty quickly, but you're only keeping them open. You're not resealing them up all the time.
Yeah.
And they're pretty good. It's called something like E-Block or something like that. It's cheap as chips, but it's quite handy. I've just got about like 10, keep about 10 of them on the go in the box, and whenever I run out, just use those. So yeah, that's pretty good because then you're not just sort of resealing it like 100 times because you just use it all up pretty quick.
Was it called?
So mine's a good couple of years old, 2 or 3 years old, so it might be time to get some new stuff.
Yeah, but yeah.
What's your stuff called, Gary?
I'm looking now. I think it's the name's E-Block or something like that. I'll find it. You crack on.
Talk amongst yourselves while he goes.
Yeah.
Is that the 5-minute that's not actually 5-minute because it's doesn't stick until overnight?
It sticks within.
Oh, block.
minutes.
I've got it. Yeah,
Block. Yellow and black. I think.
Yeah, yellow and black.
Tube. Yeah,
block. Extra strong epoxy resin glue, 6-piece set.
Yeah, that makes it sound great, doesn't it? A 6-piece set. Is that including the box?
Yeah, I'm sure I can only see 2.
Maybe it's block. That's it. I'm looking at it now.
Yeah, you get the stirrer. That's one of the pieces.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. But you know what? It's a very handy stirrer. It comes in very handy. Sometimes when it's really small, I flip it around the other way and just put that down inside something like the thin bit, the thin end.
I'll have a go at that because those 9-ounce epoxy tubes, they're quite expensive. They're like 20 odd quid.
Yeah.
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 So
I can see the 6-piece set. You're talking about £3.09. Right? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's the stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I've got one in my cart right now. So thanks for that.
Is that a 5-minute glue, Gary, or is it longer?
Yeah, extra strong.
Yeah.
Extra small.
Looks good.
Yeah. It's handy. It's very handy.
So I'll have to snip a bit out of a previous video for that bit because you can't have me straight in. Right, girl.
You need to put that as an off.
An
outtake. Sorry.
Straight in when your temples go bright red, is it? When you're struggling,
hanging on for dear life, and I'm trying. You try not to shake because it like.
It's when you shits himself at the same time.
I was probably
shame we missed Black Friday because you kept an eye on that £3.09 and see if you got a bargain.
Yeah, £3.08.
Yeah.
Should be into that. I've still got the. Oh no, I haven't. What was it called? Monkey.
Camel. You have one, Rhino, that does sports subscription comparisons.
Oh, it was £2.79 the other day.
There you go. That must have been Black Friday. So it was so cheap, man. Look at that.
Yeah, outrageous.
I'm surprised on there. I don't even know if you can. You think set alerts, right? So that when it goes below whatever its lowest price has ever been, you should be able to get an alert, and then it can ping you, and then you can buy them up at £2.76. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Sometimes maybe we should put a little link into some of these things sometimes and just sort of.
Yeah.
If we spoke about something specifically, it might be worth it. I don't know.
I had that. I started doing that on the website at one point.
I remember you saying about that, and I thought that was a really good idea.
Yeah,
thought
the
it was
only
a really
thing, it got quite a lot of traction. I had loads of people like sending me messages saying, "When's it going to be back in stock?"
no, as if you're supplying it.
But it actually did really well for wood turning supplies, and I had some stats from my website. There's like something like 4,000 or 5,000 views all in like 1 month. And I was like, okay, this has got to come off.
Suppose you didn't have a wander down to Simon and see what deals you could get off of him. Resell it.
He's
Yeah,
not been very well lately.
Has he not?
Turn up now. He's had a very bad chest infection. Anyway,
Well,
I won't talk about that on here. It's a bit rude. So
it is.
cut that out. Yeah.
Wish him
Anyway,
well.
where we were. Yeah, your that you was mentioning.
yeah. So I'm kind of gutted because it's taken me a month, and I hate it to the point where I'm not going to put the video out.
Sorry, can we just pause there for a second? It's taken a month. I don't
Yeah.
have time for a project to take a month.
Yeah, well, it hasn't taken a month. It's taken a month's worth of length of time, but not an actual month of turning. You know, I like on the turning, but it's like the turn for the casting it. That's 3 days. That's a week. Really. Yeah. Then doing the first bit, and then waiting, then hollowing. Came off the chuck a few times, like I mentioned. So I was gluing that back on. That's another couple of days. You know. And it's just been a pain in the arse. And at the end of the day, I can't stand. I don't like it. I like the shape. It is a bit thick.
I really like the shape.
Yeah.
Is that candy pigment that you said you had some proper red and you only used?
No, that's not. Yeah, it's a glass cast one. That is.
Oh, okay.
But I like the shape because I've got a little vase. In fact, I can show you. Look, I've got a little vase stand thing now. So I've been looking at that and looking at the shapes, going, well, I like that, the bit off that. And so this is the combination of those.
They look like
And you
about the
don't
size
like
of
it.
Steve's tiny.
Yeah, but I don't like it. I don't think. I'm not even going to show it, which means I'm late for my next YouTube video, which kind of sucks. And it's just.
I like it. I
I
think.
think the colours go well.
Yeah.
You really? I'm just me.
It is just you.
And the thing is, as well, like what have you got to lose by putting it out? No one's going to turn around and go, "Look at that absolute shocking vase. I'm not going to follow him anymore," or whatever.
No,
Everyone's got their own opinion, right?
Yeah.
I think it's nice.
At the end of the day, when we do wood turning, no matter what we turn, it's always our interpretation of what we like or don't like. No matter if we don't like it, like you like that vase, there's 3 of us on here that says we like it.
Yeah.
So you don't like it, you might go out and it might be sort of 50 odd people say, I like that. How much do you want for it?
Yeah.
But the one you showed last month of yours that you said you really liked, I thought that was absolutely shocking and awful, and I absolutely hated it. But I did,
Oh, really? Yes. So the stuff that I don't like generally does much better.
There you go.
I was having a conversation with David at the weekend, and I was like, and he said, it is completely potluck, you know.
Yeah.
Let's say about your taste then, Will.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not going to change.
Steve, don't mention his missus. That's wrong. He shouldn't mention that.
I've never met her, so I ain't going there, mate. I ain't going there.
I have met.
We've too many domestics in the past.
I have met his wife. She's a lovely lady.
It's interesting because, like you say, and I think when you get a commission, so someone messaged me a little while ago, a couple of weeks ago, said, I've seen this little pot you've done, colour pencils, really like it. Would you be able to do me on those in blues and whatever? Because,
Yeah.
I'm sort of going, yeah, okay. And when I'm doing it, I knew the shape of this pot she'd seen. It was like more chubby. And as I was actually making it and turning it, I was thinking, I don't want to go that shape. It's telling me that it wants to be taller and it wants to be more like Roman urn type shape, like taller. And so I thought, no, I'm going with that. I was doing it. And as I'm polishing it all, it suddenly dawned on me again that this is quite removed from the shape that she'd sort of seen and she'd sort of asked for, if you like. But then you're thinking, oh, is she not going to like it? And you're thinking, it'll be a waste of effort and all that. And I just sort of ended up sort of saying, well, okay, I did it, but just to call out, I've used my artistic license to sort of do what I want to do. I hope you like it. And then you've got that trepidation about, are they going to like it or not? And ultimately, luckily, she did it. But that's the thing. Sometimes people will still like things just because it's handmade and done loosely to what they want. On Woodturn, it's very hard to sort of get exactly the same thing. And if people turn around and go, oh, I like that, then I suppose it's down to us to turn around and say, well, yeah, I can use that as a basis, but it might not come out exactly the same, as long as you're happy with that.
I always say to people, if they want more than one, I say, yeah, I do
Yeah.
Stuff I do is not all the same. Every single piece is unique.
It's a good way of saying I can't copy turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're quite hard to.
I had some candlesticks, and this woman said, "Oh, can you do me a couple of candlesticks?" And I was like, "Oh my god!" Like you say, you've got to try and get them the same. And it was like that was the most stressful part of it, and the way the resin went. And sometimes, sort of like catch it a little bit, and it rips a bit out, and it's all crusty and crystally, and you think, "Oh, I'll put a cove in there, right, to get rid of that." And luckily, the first one I'd done, everything was happening on that one, so that dictated the shape it ended up because I'd done all that. And when I was doing the second one, I was thinking, if I get a sort of out or crystallization in the wrong bit, I'm screwed here. And everything's going along with the verniers going, oh, that needs to be 12 mil there. Oh, that needs to be 24 mil there. Luckily, the second one didn't screw up because I didn't have a spare. But yeah, it was stressing.
Like you mean, we go back to what Will said about taking him a month to do that vase. When my dad passed away a couple of years ago, 2-3 years ago, I took all of his oak 3-piece suite and I made it into segmented bowls for my siblings, myself. So there's only 4 of us, but I think there's about 190 odd bits I cut and glued, etc. That took me 3 months, but not one of the bowls is the same. They're similar,
Yeah,
but they're not the same. Make a little one, you think, oh, bugger, and then do I do it on the others or do I leave as it is? So I understand what you're saying.
I think that took me a weekend just to do the shaping so I can get it into the casting bucket and stick all the in. And I got a wicked thumbnail for it, so it should do quite well. In fact, I'll show the thumbnail because that's pretty cool. If I can find it. Talk myself.
Was you purposely trying to do it for the purposes of thumbnail, or just when you've done it you thought that would make sense?
No, I try and take quite a lot of thumbnails now because I never have enough, but that's the thumbnail for it. And I thought this is going to do really well. This is going to come out and it's going to be absolutely spectacular, this thing. And it's come out and I haven't liked it.
Did you show it on your Facebook page? Did you show that on your Facebook page?
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
I didn't realise I didn't realise that those logs were as part of the actual base wood. I thought you'd put them in separate.
no, it's a pear crutch.
Yeah.
So I thought, I was going to get some wicked, really interesting grain, and I thought there'd be much more wood in it than there actually is. That's why I shaped it quite thin. But I shaped it so thin, I came down just nicked the end of that off, which I don't like it. Just horrible.
Well, I don't like it now because now I realise that's the one I suggested, smoky or blue, and you went red. So
I did. I was always going red.
It's just nice to ask questions.
I had a deep purple or a blue, a smoky one. Deep,
use me as your content.
Yellows and oranges. Just Well, I might keep. I don't know. I'll see.
Otherwise, what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do? Put it in your cabinet, and that's it.
No, I'm just going to throw it.
Well, definitely put a video out. Or raffle it between me and Mark, and we'll say it's ours, and we'll put it up.
Well, I might. Well, I'm nearly there, so I've only got a few hours, and that'll be done anyway. So I'll finish it when I edit the video. I might do. I'll finish it. I'll take some stills. I'll send them over. You can have a look, right? And if you can still convince me it's good enough, then maybe I'll edit the video. But I'll have to be quite creative with it. That's for certain.
No, it's nice. So,
unless that's the route you go with the video, you start your video off normally, then you go down the route of it going wrong, not liking it, and setting it on fire.
I did, and I have thought about that as well.
When wood turning goes wrong, just be mindful that those Greenpeace fellas will get a bit upset that you're burning resin.
Painted wood.
I'll just throw it in the recycling.
We can't throw it in the garden waste.
I'll tell you a good test for it. When you put your bin out, don't put it in the bin. Put it on top
of
the bin.
Yeah.
And if the bin men throw it in the back of the truck, as opposed to take it in the cab with them, then you've made the right decision.
That's right. Actually, that is a good point.
See where it ends up.
But the alternative is you do auction it. You finish it, you record it, and you auction it off. See what.
I have actually thought about doing that full stop with everything.
Doing a raffle type auction.
Yeah, just giving it away.
Is there not a local good cause you could give it to for a raffle?
Possibly. Yeah.
You ain't local to tendering.
Local enough.
Yeah, I could do.
I think stick to your normal thing at the end of the day. Finish it like you say. You put so much effort into it, right?
I have put a lot of effort because I thought it was going to be really good. I think that's why I hate it the most, because it's nowhere near as good as I thought. This is going to be the next £1 million video.
Well, if you was halfway through it, then you think fair enough, maybe don't waste any more effort. But when you're that close, it just seems criminal not just to finish it off and spend
Okay, all right,
couple of hours.
Thanks for your opinion.
And he's taken your opinion as much as he took my opinion.
I still might not put it out, but I would because I'm so far with it. Then I will at least finish it off. I probably won't bother sticking my badge in there.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised, Mark, that you haven't turned around and go, I do like it, but it would have looked so much better in smoky blue.
Yeah, it'd be much better in smoky or blue.
I don't need to say it. He already knows. That's why it looks crap, because it's not.
Put a smoky blue layer on the outside and just leave the inside red.
So anyway, you can see the colour of your pen blanks that I did for you the other day. Anyway,
It's the dregs out at the bottom.
You've got quite a lot of red at the moment.
Nice, that's good. What you guys been up to? What you been up to, Mark?
I've been playing with colour still. A couple of episodes back, I spoke about me doing the pen pots with the blues and the greens and whatever else. When I decided that they weren't big enough, I went, let's not put that on the fire, and did a couple of massive yarn bowls.
Is that all wood?
Yes.
Is it painted or is it spirit stains?
So it's the chestnut spirit stains, and then the J was cut out after it was stained. So you have the natural wood in that.
What do you use to cut that notch out?
Jigsaw. That is blue to green, not that you can see it on the camera. So that's the same as my pen pot. But I mean, that is a yarn bowl.
Pretty big, yeah.
That is going to be a big old ball of wool goes in there.
It was actually the log was split into quarters, so the third quarter has been left unstained.
What wood is that? Maple.
It's a spalted maple. It's absolutely stunning. So I left one plain, and then the final quarter's been cut down into handle size blanks and pen size blanks, that sort of thing. So I use them at a later date. But I've been playing with some more colour. I'm really enjoying it. So I think I'm going to have to bite the bullet, spend some money and go and get the bigger tubs, because I'm still working off of the little tester bottles that you can get, and I'm running out of yellow. So I think I'm going to do more. I haven't shown it yet. It is recorded, and I'm having Will's not the only one who's having issues with video editing. I've run out of room on my devices, and I need to finish editing one. And it won't be going out till Boxing Day anyway. But I need to clear all of so I can anyway. It's not done well, my phone plus video editing, but I've just done. I'll do my best to show you on camera. That's just a bad idea. I'll send it in the group chat. It's a 16-inch plate that I've done for my cousin for Christmas, and it's the reds. There you go. I've sent it in the group chat, not in the Teams, but on your mobiles.
Yeah.
Just so Steve doesn't feel left out. Hang on.
Oh, yeah. No, not in a group chat.
Hang on.
Should add you really, Steve.
There you go, Steve.
Oh, it's nice.
So I turned the middle back out. So the middle's the plain wood, and I did that band around the outer edge as well.
Was that maple? Did you say?
No, that's Scots pine, that one.
That's nice.
It was a challenge, I must admit, to do it. Yes. But pine is an absolute arse to turn. You have to, because of the resin, it blunts your blades quite quickly. There was a massive knot in it as well that really did cause havoc. So you have to go back in, resharpen the tools, and just take, almost with like you would do with a negative rake scraper, but as a push cut with your bowl gouge to just get that nice clean cut. I've just sent you a little video of the back of it as well, the usual front to back thing I do for my shorts. But I ran out of space on my phone. My phone is bigger than my iPad, and the iPad has got the editing software. I'm trying to swap video editors as well, because YouTube has flagged 3 of the 4 most recent shorts and the most recent video for copyright issues. It has also flagged our podcast for copyright issues for the music being used in it. And so I decided I'd try and find a new editor. That I tried to use CapCut, which is what you use, Will, which on a mobile device is primarily meant for TikTok because it's owned by TikTok. It doesn't work on my computer. So I downloaded Adobe Rush on the iPad, but I point blankly refuse to pay £23 a month for Adobe Premiere on the computer. 23 quid a month.
Yeah, that's quite expensive.
That's not happening. So I found on the PC, I'm trying DaVinci by Movavi, Movavi. So I uploaded all of the content onto my computer, went into DaVinci for DaVinci to turn around and go, we don't support that file format because it's Apple. So, and that was also, I think I messaged you the other day on the WhatsApp group and said about me recording everything in portrait rather than landscape. So it's all in the wrong orientation.
Yeah.
I'm struggling to find some way of editing it. And it's also the next 6 videos have all been started. And I maybe should have finished this one so I had space before filming the others.
Yeah.
Oh well. So I've tried to find some software to convert the files so they are usable by DaVinci. Movavi also do a video converter, and I started it at about 4 o'clock. And when we came on to record the podcast, it hadn't done 1%. So in 3 hours, hadn't done 1%. So
hey, what you try to do? Convert it from landscape to portrait?
No, convert it from file to an MP4.
Oh, okay. Yeah, of course, yeah.
If you're running on Apple,
yep,
and you haven't got enough room, or if Movavi, whatever it is, doesn't like it, would it not be worth buying an old cheap Android? Because a lot of Androids, you can add in a memory card.
Yes, but I couldn't transfer my iOS videos onto an Android device. They hate each other. I've actually got an Android device in the building I could use already, but
yeah, you can. You can, because I do.
It's a tablet that my mum's got is Android based. But I think I've put it all onto the cloud. And whilst we've been recording this evening, I have been uploading. It's crashed a couple of times, frustratingly. I think I've run out of.
I think you can set what file format you recorded on your iPhone, because all my iPhone recordings are MP. You know about this now, dear?
Yeah.
Let's see you shake.
None of it was. It all fucking will be now.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was going to say, because I do use stuff off my phone, not because the reels are straight off my phone. That's for certain.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm sure CapCut would be able to do it, but it's obviously the software I don't know who owns DaVinci, whether it is Movavi and whether they just don't like the Apple format. I don't know. It's frustrating. I think I've run out of space on my tablet again, because I've been trying to upload the last hour of footage onto Rush and it keeps crashing. So I think I might have run out of space. So I'm going to have to edit, because Rush duplicates the footage rather than using the tablet. So I used to use Splice, and Splice never used to duplicate it. It just used to keep it and only save within Splice the bits that have been edited, not the unedited stuff. And the only other option, I mean, I intend to use DaVinci. It looks like a good system and I've bought it, so I intend to use it. Rush I'm paying for monthly and I can just cancel the subscription, and that's the same with Splice. But you were saying you don't put music at the end of yours, because it's the music that's flagging my copyright issues.
No, I think I'm going to stop. Personally, I quite like it, but the stats say that most people, as soon as they hear music, they just click off. So I've noticed a lot of other people do it. Their music thing is literally a few seconds, not a 30-second clip.
Yeah, I put music over. I mean, I always put music over the shorts, because otherwise there's nothing in the background.
Yeah, no, I don't do that either, because like the music that's not copyrighted at the moment doesn't mean to say in 6 months' time it won't be.
I think that's the problem I've had with some of mine.
Yeah, that was with Instagram, in all fairness, that I've had problems with that in the past. So I just took a rule that I'm not going to put any music over anything, but apart from the end bits on YouTube, the end 30 seconds on YouTube. Only because I like it. Most people don't. So
yeah, I like it. Gary, have you been doing anything like that?
I haven't put music over the end of mine now at all. Just don't put no additional sound on it.
I have watched all your videos, and I should really have known that before I asked, but
That's because you're bullshitting. That's fine.
yeah, he doesn't watch to the end, Gary.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't.
I sussed out the end screen as well, by the way.
Oh, well done.
Yeah, I'll find out about that at the end. It's like, oh my god, now I get it. Right. Okay.
So, Steve, have you never thought about doing any of that sort of thing?
I've never had time for it. And listen to when you talk about how many hours you spend in your workshop and then in the evening doing the videos, I thought, oh no, I can't be asked. It's too much for me.
Don't do it. I'm doing everything at the moment that I've categorically said I would never do.
At the end of the day, I'm a hobby turner. You know, I'm not making money out of this. Well, I'm making money out of it as such, but I'm not making money.
Yeah.
I'm not in it to make money, if that makes sense.
Yeah. The content. There's a difference between being a wood turner, I think. Well, there's certainly a difference between being a wood turner and a content creator. But three of us have sort of blurred those lines, trying to get our social medias to pay. Yeah, I fell asleep about 3 o'clock this morning. I woke up about 7, and I'd clearly fallen asleep while editing that video because it was
so boring. Don't put yourself down, mate.
Yeah, it's
that's not going to get many views.
No,
send you to sleep.
No, it's really not. And at least this time, unlike the last one I did, where I ran out of space on the device, and that's why there's no sanding in it at all.
Yeah,
it just goes. I'm turning.
Oh yeah.
The end. At least this time I've managed to capture all of it. And the next videos that come out, I've gone further. I've followed sort of what Will's done. And I've done the whole process of prepping it, mixing the resin, pouring the resin, and doing all of that. So
I struggled with it because I was so just focused on Instagram. So everything was like 1 minute 30 max. It was like literally 1:29 and whatever. And then flipping over to YouTube where you're trying to lengthen it. And where I'm so used to scrunching stuff down and doing the ×10 and then doing a ×10 again, so you still keep the sound, and then sort of scrunching it down. Then when you come to YouTube, and I'm thinking, no, don't put that on ×10. Maybe put that bit on a ×4. And then when I get to it, and it's like it's still 4 minutes. That's an age for me. But then I got Will in the back of my mind going, get 8 minutes for an advert, right? And I'm like, come on. And I'm thinking, stretch it out that long? Jesus Christ, am I finding it boring myself, keeping it going for that long? But it's just trying to get that balance right.
I actually think I'm going to do some longer videos because
longer. I can't be asked to watch your videos as it is.
Yeah, so I'm going to aim for about 13, 14 minutes on the next couple, I think. The recent ones, I've kind of got them down to between 8 and 9 minutes.
I do find it really difficult to take 4 hours of footage and condense it down to 10 minutes.
Decide what to keep, yeah.
But also, I mean, this one I've just been doing, the one I'm having issues with. I'm watching it going, right, so I'll keep 30 seconds of that, then I'll cut out 10 minutes and I'll keep 30 seconds, then I'll cut 10 minutes and 30. And that's just a rough cut. And I'm looking at those 30 seconds going, this is shit. No one's going to want to watch this.
I think for me, when I'm doing it, it's almost like if you think it's almost a classic story thing, right? You got to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. When you think I can do a bit of prep work, I can do a bit of roughing out, if you like. Then I can do a bit of turning. Then I can do, like you were saying before, Will. Then you get to the point where you're doing your finishing and your sanding and whatever. So you can work out the chunks of the story that go all the way through, and then it's just a matter of like what bits do I keep the time in for, and what bits, if there's hardly any change when you're doing all your turning, we'll speed that up so they can all actually see the bit of wood getting smaller or whatever, as opposed to I've just watched a minute and I can't see anything that's changed at all. So almost you've got to try and keep them. There's got to be something going on in there. And that's where I think, well, okay, do that maybe at ×4. And then you're doing all that, and then you might end up with like 5.5. And you go, shit.
I actually spend quite a lot of time on the first minute, maybe even minute and a half of the video. The first 30 seconds, I probably spend more time on that than I do the rest of the video. But the first minute and a half, I probably spend a little bit more time working out, is that interesting? Can I get rid of it? Can I move on? Because if you can get someone for the first minute and a half, it's likely they're going to watch the whole thing. That's valuable.
And sometimes on those bits, if you might have things that you are doing that looks different, because you might be jumping from the bandsaw, you might be, I don't know, chainsawing it to start. There's a lot of things that could be different. Once you get to the point where you're turning it, there's loads of bit where you're turning it. Do you know what I mean? And it's all on the lathe. Whereas you can sort of take all those different bits.
But I've kind of found from looking at all the thousands of stats that within 30 seconds, I try and get to turning. So I try and, because if I don't get there, people start dropping off early. But if I start turning within that 30 seconds, then that will hold people. So I spend less time on the prep bit and try and skip it, fast forward, do whatever I can to cut out as much as possible, but still keep it so people can see because people can piece stuff together in their head.
Yeah.
People aren't stupid, but so I can snip a few bits and then get to turning within 20 seconds. That's what I aim for.
It doesn't give your sponsors much time, does it?
No, but it's not good to overly show that either.
No, what I think you do works quite well, actually, just showing the bottles.
So I'd show the bottles literally for like a second or so, and then I'll just place them in the background so they're on view, but not kind of in your face.
Because a lot of people, they sort of, this video is sponsored by whoever, more on them later. And then you've got this bit halfway through of them talking in the background about their sponsor or whatever it is. And you just think, oh, shut the fuck. Fast forward.
A lot of videos, when you see that sort of stuff, you do fast. I tend to, if you get the sponsorship bit, and it's like, I can't be bothered with that.
Especially
if I want to see something in woodturning or whatever, I want to see the actual process.
Yeah. Especially how often have we got, you get halfway through a video and you go, oh, this video is sponsored by Wall Shadow Legend. And you think, you're a woodturner. What are you doing being sponsored by an app game?
Yeah.
I don't, keep it relevant.
And the other thing I do, once I've edited the first 30 seconds, I will compile it, watch it a few times, and I'll watch it until I get to the point where I've watched it and it doesn't feel like 30 seconds. It feels like more like 10 seconds.
You're really trying to hook them in for that time. Then
that is your most important bit. If someone's actually bothered to click on your video or watch it, you got to give them the stuff they want as quick as possible and keep them entertained.
I've seen loads where, and I think they do it. I like, everyone's different, but ones I've seen that I like is they'll show a little bit and they might do a little bit of preppers, and then let's just say they're prepping 4 bits, right? And they do it, and then they get the 4 bits, and it goes quite quickly. It goes, and they show the 4 bits. I quite like that, and I tried to do that on my last one with the blue pencils, where I was sort of like gluing like 6 or 7 of them together and whatever, and then I've done a load on the side, and then I just bring those 4 in, and I'm trying to go, that looks absolute dog dirt.
Oh, really?
I tried.
It's the likes of Jackman Works, and it's one of the podcasters I listen to as well. When they've clamped everything together, Jackman, he'll pick the whole thing up, drop it, and all the clamps fall off. Or as they're doing various processes, they've got that repeatable thing timed perfectly, so it sounds amazing at the same time as looks great. There's nothing in YouTube, there's nothing in woodturning that we do that would necessarily work like that.
When I watch the videos, if it's one, so like Steve Jones, when he does his one, these are normally 2 minutes long, 2-3 minutes long, and he doesn't give instructions. He's from blank to round to shaped to done. He talks through it, but he's not saying, you hold the skew this way or whatever.
Right, no.
It's very quick, and I find them ones interesting because I can see what he's doing. If I want to learn something, then you need to go on a longer video.
Yeah.
The one I think of is Stuart Mortimer when he done barley twists. He done it over 4 videos where he explained the angle of holding the tool, etc. And I found that very instructional.
I find Richard Finley good for that as well.
He did the festive woodturning challenge.
He's the one who does the festive challenge. So this year
he done the bell, and he done the bell over 4 challenges, over 4 videos. And it's like, okay, I'm getting bored with this now.
Really?
Because it's like the first one was too long. It was too much explaining to do what to do. Then you watch Steve Jones, he did exactly the same thing in a minute and a half.
Yeah.
And Steve Jones put a clapper in it, whereas all the others didn't. And I think that's the big difference, is when you see one with instructions, you want to watch it if it's got instructions. If it's a long video of just wood turning, same with Jack Mack or whatever he does the
Yeah.
You see stuff he does, and you think, that's great. I'll watch it for the first minute and a half, and then I'll get bored, and I'll start pulling it through, skipping it through.
My problem with Oliver is he doesn't answer questions. There's been a number of occasions where I've asked him something and he does. At least Steve and Richard, if you message them and go, can you just, how did you do that? Or Steve, what was going on there? They're more than happy to reply to you.
Well, I've got Steve very handy. When I've done my wedding cake topper, I was actually speaking to him. I got permission to make it in the first place. It was his idea. And he come back at me every single time saying, that's good, that's whatever. So I like that. And he gave advice.
I've got plenty of time for the wood turners that are more than happy to give advice as well as to show off. And I think that's what I quite enjoy about the club we go to, where you're halfway through, you've got a cup of coffee, you don't mind, the turners don't mind you walking up and just asking whatever questions you've got.
No.
Or if they're halfway through something and they're put a face shield on and forget to pull the face shield down, even though they're...
I think most people encourage it, to be honest.
They like the engagement, don't they? When they're standing there, I'm not being horrible, but especially at Chelmer Valley, when it ain't exactly a big audience, if it's just dead flat and they're getting no feedback and no response, it's not nice for them. If they get any sort of questions or whatever, I think they like the engagement.
We are, but demonstrators, they're part wood turner, part showman. They're there to entertain you. In a room like Chelmer Valley, where there are so few of us, and you notice that when we had Ferrara at Sandon, for you know who I mean,
Farini.
That's him. The banter between the people watching and Stuart was brilliant. But I always feel that if I step out of line at Sandon, I've got Barry staring at me like, shut up, boy.
He's so quiet in the background, isn't he?
But he doesn't need to say anything. Him and Louise can just give you a look. Sorry. Don't forget to bring the box back in pristine condition.
Taken back already.
I know you have. I'm still sitting on the shelf.
Don't mess about. I've got no worry about the RAF.
Oh, but it's good that the demonstrators that on the most part, that we have at Sanding and at Chelmer Valley, they don't mind that. They don't mind giving advice, and I think that's good. On the subject of Chelmer Valley, I volunteered to do the February demonstration, and the current competition is the quarterly competition, is the one for the hollow form vase, 125mm vase, hollow form type thing. And I was going to demonstrate how to make one. I said to Barry, would you mind if I did? Because I think a lot of members, you said make a hollow form, and they've gone, no, I can't do that, so I'm not even going to try. And I think a lot of them are a little bit, they're not going to bother doing one because they don't think they know how to. So how about I show them how to do it, and that way they can go home, they've got a month to make one. Barry went, no, it's meant to be a challenge. We just won't have one. We just won't have anyone putting anything up. It'd be me, Barry, you two. Well, that's why I meant you two. I didn't mean Will. Will doesn't bother turning up.
I'm not quite sure how to do it. I may well give it a go, but it's something I've got.
They're
I
really
might get
easy.
2 pieces.
You do. So you spin normal spindle, drill a hole right down the middle, shape the neck, cut into the middle that you've bored out at an angle, hollow the body out, glue the 2 bits back, shape the outside.
I'm working on it. It's like his idea is going over in my head at the moment, but
the trick is how to hide the seam. But Barry has said you could do it in
anyway.
2 pieces. But Barry said we could.
But if you're going to challenge yourself to do a hollow form, you should do it properly. And ultimately,
you want a 125mm tall bud vase hollow form in 1 piece.
Just borrow.
I'm not even sure that's possible.
Is there a specific width or diameter?
No, he didn't say.
So is it going to be? Can it be
like
like
a nice swan neck? If you get a nice swan neck, you probably get at least 50mm diameter. Doesn't say how big it is. It's got to be a certain height, hasn't it?
Yeah, he said certain height, but it's got to be a bud vase. It can't be a normal vase, so it's got to be thin. So if we're only talking 125mm, that orifice is probably only going to be 10mm.
No way you can do it, but just could put a base on it.
Yeah,
no one's put a base on it.
That bit's only going to be sort of 10mm. So you're never going to get a swan.
Yeah, he hasn't dictated that though, has he? He hasn't dictated it. I think that was it.
He dictated the height, but I think it's implied by calling it a bud vase.
No implying. No, I work in IT build right requirements. If someone hasn't stated them, you interpret how you fucking want.
Sound like the FIA. If it's not written down, it's legal.
Exactly. I'd be woolly.
I'll work on it next year. I've got a few things to do, but I will work on it.
I've got to get
possibly.
I quite like that the challenge was Garry's idea, I think, wasn't it? The quarterly challenge.
Oh,
I've-
the quarterly thing it was, yeah.
But I believe we mentioned that there would be a prize, and I've never seen a prize.
No, I don't think there was a prize. We specifically said there wouldn't be one because we just said it's.
Oh, I thought
just
we were going to do a prize.
recognition. No, we definitely. There was stick to the only prizes would be the Christmas trophies, the December trophies, or whatever it was. It's just a set of give people a purpose. You think John Mack? Is it John Mack?
Yeah.
He when I saw him last month, or it might have been even the month before, he'd done all his competition entries for December, and he'd done his holophon for bloody March already. It's like it's given him a purpose to do so.
He does not need any impetus to get out in the workshop and turn. He brings more things up than anyone else each month.
He does, but he likes to be sort of told, "Oh, go and make this," and then it gives him, rather than him coming up with stuff. Granted, he comes up with loads of stuff and it's good, but it's almost like he likes the fact that, oh, okay, we've all got to do that, and everyone's got to do the same
Gets
thing.
him thinking.
Yeah,
because the Christmas competition is you've got very small amount of criteria. It's plain or decorated or segmented, but at least that you've got to make a hollow form mud vase. But so
anyway, recent purchases. Anyone bought anything recently?
Yeah, I've managed to get myself a set of coal jaws. So I bought one set when I got my new lathe, which was I think it was a 10-inch set, the Nova ones. And I then bought myself, as a Christmas present from my wife, a 12-inch with the extension pack. So I can now I've now got up to a 15-inch on the coal jaws. I've got a 16-inch swing. I've got a 16-inch swing on the lathe, so I should be okay.
What lathe have you got?
Nova Saturn.
Oh,
What lathe have you got? Sorry,
A Nova Saturn.
Oh, how do you find that lathe?
I like it. It goes from 50 RPM to 3,500 without reprogramming. You can reprogram it up to 5,000.
Blimey.
The only thing I don't like, it's got a short bed. It's got a 24-inch bed because it has to have a knockout bar both ends. Whereas my last one had a 36-inch bed. But I don't use a full 36-inch anyway, so I'm happy with that in a way. I like it. It's good. It's a solid lathe, easy to use, and it's got a reverse as well. So I'm happy with that.
So, as you brought it up, what have you bought, Garry?
Only I finally got around to getting an Ashley Isles beading tool. Been on the list for a while, and I was actually looking Black Friday, shockingly enough, and as we were saying previously, nothing came up there. And then in the end, I just thought I sod it, bite the bullet, and get one. They're not in many places, to be honest. Darren Breeze is where I got it from in the end. He stocks quite a few of them. So I got one from there. I haven't used it yet. It literally turned up this morning.
I was thinking about buying a beading tool.
Yeah, it's just good, those ones, aren't they? Because they're the ones that are easy to sharpen.
Yes, because they're just a flat profile.
Yeah.
Use them points out.
No, yeah. That's why I got that. That was the reason why, because the sharpening aspect of it.
I've used the Ashley Isles beading tool since I started. It was Mum's. It's great. I prefer them over the others. Good tools.
Yeah.
And they've got a good selection. And they're not that expensive, really.
50 quid.
Yeah.
Mil. I don't think there's much price difference between they do a 6. I think they do a 3 as well. I think.
Yeah, they do a 3 mil. Mine's the 6. Yeah. No, it's a good tool. I really like it.
Yeah, I just got the Sorby one. So
Sorby one's the one with the sort of negative rake in it.
Yeah.
I just thought I know it's the old classic about you don't need any more tools, but if you've got something that's a specific purpose or whatever, and I did think like I thought it through a few times. Thought, do I really need it? I thought, sod it. I do want to get one.
Yeah,
I do think it is something that will get used quite.
Yeah,
regularly.
I'm there with that as well. I must admit, do I need it?
Yeah, I did go up to Simon Hope's the other day, so I was toying with the idea of getting a ring tool, not a captive ring tool, but a ring hollowing tool. He's got some in there. Can't remember the make.
Do you want mine?
Tomahawk, something like that.
Do you want my one?
I look at it and I think I really can't be bothered. So I did. Had he done a Black Friday deal, I might have done. But in the end, I just come away with 4 packets of sandpaper, the little sanding discs for the bulk out.
I picked one up a couple last year, I think.
I did get a faceplate for him for £10 for a large one. So it's a nice size.
I've got a ring tool. I picked it up last year, and me and Will have discussed this at length. I cannot use it. I don't know how it works. I don't know how it's meant to work. I can't get it to cut.
Yep. I've
You're
got
welcome
a
to it. I
I've got a
cannot.
ring tool.
I'll bring it to
Yep.
club on Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I just.
And if I turn up, you can have mine as well.
So if you just bring, if I can borrow it, I'll try it on a couple of blanks. I'll let you know.
Mine's slightly different. Davey gave that mine to me. He said, "Look, I just can't get on with this." He said, "Look, have a go. If not, put it in the bin." And I had a go, and it just like frightens the living daylights out.
I'll give anything a go.
I've got a swan neck hollowing tool, and I cannot. I was going to bring. I was going to find some time to come up to see you, Will.
Yeah.
But I just. Yeah, I cannot get on with this swan tool. And you say to me, "Oh, you need to go faster." No,
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
no, I'm not speeding the lathe up.
Is it because it like pulls it down all the
Just
time?
grab.
Yeah. I've got one, and I got one probably only about in the last 6 months. And when I use it, mine sort of does that, and it's a real sort of struggle to keep it flat.
Well, I've got three. I've got Simon Hope one, which has got a flat blade on it.
Another flat, yeah.
Yeah, which I find very good. The only thing I found when I sharpened it once, the carbide tip, I sharpened it, and unfortunately it unscrewed, and it disappeared into the abyss as well as the screw. So I had to go and buy another screw and another little cutter.
Yeah.
But there you go.
Mine's got a flat bar up the sort of towards the handle and whatever. But even if I have that on the tool rest, it still sort of goes round.
I find you have to go fast and light cuts with that one. Very, very light cuts.
Yeah.
It doesn't grab things.
Mine's the Crown Cryo one.
Yeah.
And I got loads of different heads for it. Say heads, but one's just a point, and one's a ring cup with a thing in it. And again, I picked that up, and those two tools, I just can't. I don't like deep hollowing anyway, but I prefer me shallow stuff. Yeah. Give me a plate. Give me a plate. I mean, on those sycamore yarn bowl, maple yarn bowls, the ones I've just done with the colour, I broke out the Easy Wood tools. I've got it's not hollowing, but it's their standard medium size one.
They call it a hollower, didn't they?
They do, and it's a scraper rather than a cutter. And that was just trying to pull my arm off as well. It's like, they're not even very deep. They're probably only about, I don't know, 7 inches, 8 inches deep. Yeah. So we're not talking deep here. I'm just getting too used to doing little spindles and lace bobbins. I think that's all it is.
I do find with the Simon Hope one, because I didn't buy the handle that goes with it. I use it. I made my own handle. So I made it to the length I like it, and it actually tucks into the arm quite nicely when I'm hollowing. So I can do it. As you know, I'm quite slim built, so I can actually hold on to it quite nicely.
A wood turner's belly.
Yeah, it tucks underneath that.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, they're good.
Where are they? I saved them. Carry on talking. Sorry. A little while ago, I came across the Gentleman Woodturner produces some fittings, which are like Simon's ends, not the chuck ones where you just unscrew it lightly and pull the tool out and replace it. It's the double Allen key one. He produces those fittings for your own handle. So you can then swap out your own tools. They're from the Gentleman Woodturner. So they're like Simon's, but instead of having the foam handle, you could make your own wooden ones.
Yeah.
And I think he does them in the 3 main diameters.
I've only got the one tool like that, so it suits me to go straight into his own wooden handle.
It was only a thought where you do make your own tools.
Yeah.
When did I get that? Earlier this year, I found that. It was tempting.
Then the other problem is if you got something like that, because I tend to keep all my tools in racks, in holes, either in the waste pipe clamps or holes in wood. So the actual handle stops it falling through. Whereas if it didn't have a handle on, it would fall through. And then I'd have to have another racking system, which I haven't got room in my shed.
I've got the Simon Hope negative rake scraper without a handle. I swapped that out for the bowl gouge.
Yeah.
And that's magnetized to the wall.
Yeah.
Because I've got nowhere else to put it. It's just on a couple of quite strong rare earth magnets.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got one of those. Don't use it very often. Use the
big one, the big round one.
Yeah, big round one.
Wide bar. Yeah, it's about bloody 40 mil wide, the flat bar bit, right?
I don't use it because I've got that massive Easy Wood Tools, the hollow one. I use that pretty much for everything, you know.
I use
I
Simon
use
Hope
my Henry
one.
Taylor. I use my Henry Taylor negative rate scraper more than I use that Simon Hope one.
So do I. These bigger bowls, I use the Simon Hope one because of the bigger surface area. But yeah, on the most part, same as you, I use that same one, and I've profiled it as a negative rake.
Yeah, I've got one of the Henry Taylor, the half round bowl scraper things. I never use that either. I use that Easy Wood Tools hollow. I use for everything.
Yeah, I got one of those. Obviously, you said about it, Will, the great big long one.
Yeah, the big
It's
ones.
like
Yeah.
in the big tube. So because it's so long, I actually sort of have it spanning across 2 rafters.
I
Right?
do, yeah. Yeah.
above
It is a
my
wicked-
leg.
Yeah.
But the annoying thing is, I forget I've got it because it's up there. And then I'm doing all this other stuff, going through all this, and then I go, "What am I an idiot? What am I doing?"
Yeah.
There it is. Bosh, try and spin it around and catch it like some sort of twiddly thing. Yeah, it is a beast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good tool, that is.
See, that's the reason you don't have space for any new tools, Will. It's because you've got that stupidly long Simon Hope hollower that takes up half your workshop.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, that is. Yeah, it's quite big. Could do
Is
with
it
a big
just
one.
when you're
Really.
not using it, you just sort of, I don't know, push it to the side?
No, just
when you're not
tucked under the
using it?
bench.
Oh right. Oh, okay.
It kind of collapses like a scissor. It's not as big as you think it is. And the
Right.
tools themselves are only about a couple of foot long, I guess.
Yeah. No fair dues.
He couldn't actually turn anything he normally turns in a little shed. Will couldn't do what he does in Steve's shed, I don't think, because it just he can't stand far enough away from the head use. It's like a snooker player with the rest and the extender and everything kind of the same.
I need some more room, even in mine.
Well, Garry's got some spare
I think you should
space
use
in his
that hollower.
workshop.
I think you should use that hollower on a tiny goblet that Steve made.
Yeah.
That could be a challenge, couldn't it?
You've got a chuck,
Yeah.
got a massive chuck
Yeah,
like
who
that
can
with
make
a
the
teeny
smallest-
weeny little.
The smallest
be-
goblet with the biggest tool.
Yeah, you'll be at the back of the tool with a pair of binoculars, like trying to get in. Can I see in there?
There you go. All right.
To get the camera attachment.
That's what I'll do in February. The beginning of February's demonstration, I'll have a big chuck, and I'll have a tiny little goblet, and
we can make one, Mark.
Yeah.
I'll do the whole thing with a 1-inch skew chisel.
So there's the title for this one. Who's got the biggest tool? And on that note, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to skedaddle.
Yeah, all right then, boys. Well, that's been nice talking to you again anyway.
Yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, that's good timing. My dog's now having zoomies.
Are we going to get out for a Christmas beer?
Only if you fucking turn up to club.
Think about it. So it's not that I'm not planning to come, but I'm not planning to come if I see what I mean.
You're not planning to come? What?
It's not as if I'm not planning to come next week, but I'm not planning. I'm not planning to come on. I'll see what happens. It depends on the weather.
Is your wife in the background there?
Yeah.
Yeah. If she can hear us, can you just kick him out about 6:30 next Wednesday?
Yeah, I mean, in the big scheme of things, it's the 10th of December, so there ain't exactly a lot of time, is there? So Wednesday would be good if we was going to do it. But if you can't make it, you can't make it. That's fine.
That's okay. The rest of us will be there. We'll go out and then we'll phone him up, put him on FaceTime in the corner.
Yeah. This is what you could have had.
That's recalled.
Right.
Right.
Great jumping on with you again, guys.
Yeah. All right.
I'll speak
boys.
to you later.
Catch you later. Cheers,
See you later.
Steve. Thanks for
Yeah.
calling.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.